Hi, this is Megan Chapman, and this is the Tuesday studio video visit. It's a late edition today, and we are not in the studio. We are sitting on the sofa, and we're having a look at this book, Broad Strokes. This book is 15 Women Who Made Art and Made History in that order, and it's by Bridget Quinn. With illustrations by Lisa Cogden. I probably mispronounced her name. She's a great illustrator. Anyway, I've had this book for a while, and periodically I flip through it. It's just got so many great women in it, and their stories are inspiring and frustrating and everything in between. So if you're looking for a book to, expand your horizons on women in art, or if you just want to learn a little bit more, or you just want a pretty cool coffee table book, this one might work for you. Right now I'm just looking at this chapter about Lee Krasner. Many folks know that Lee Krasner was Jackson Pollock's wife. If you didn't, now you do. And this idea, and I remember it as well in art school, that Lee Krasner was always remarked as horse-faced or unattractive, or that she just wasn't given her due the way her husband was. So, and that's what this book picks up as well. So I was just thinking for something different, I'd just read you a little excerpt from this book, and we'll see where we go from there. This author says that Krasner was not conventionally attractive is often remarked on. Her biographer, Levine, who knew Krasner, writes, "I never considered Lee ugly, as several of her contemporaries and some writers have emphasized since her death. But Levine does go on at length about Krasner's great figure, even quoting a fellow female student at the Academy describing the extremely ugly, elegantly stylized Lee Krasner. She had a huge nose, pendulous lips, bleached hair in a long slick bob, and a dazzlingly beautiful, luminously white body." And the author goes on, and I agree. Let's think about this. Ever notice how no one ever talks about how Picasso wasn't good looking? He wasn't. He was short. He was 5'4". That's 162 centimeters. Why does this never enter into the accounts of his life and work? Because it doesn't matter, right? And never, that I can recall, has anyone begun a discussion of Jackson Pollock's work with a phrase such as the bald but still virile painter. The first time, the author continues, the first time I saw a picture of Krasner, I was an undergraduate, and she was my research paper subject. The photo showed her glancing up at Pollock with him looking back at her, a scraggly bunch of daisies held between them. They're a match set, those three, rough but serviceable. She is not hot, neither is he, and the daisies are just okay. Awesome. I liked Krasner even more now that I'd caught sight of her, and liked Pollock, too, for liking her. It was, I'm sorry to say, a kind of revelation to me at age 19 that a man might want a woman for reasons other than looks. The opposite was all too obvious. For the right kind of man, even in this case, a volatile genius, attraction might lie in talent, passion, brains, and commitment. So, I just thought that was an interesting passage, because I do think a lot of the time, and especially today in this Instagram filtered heavy world, not only are we expected to be brilliant artists, but we're also supposed to be this social media package where we've got the right look, the right filters, the right hair, the right clothes. And it's becoming less and less about what we're actually creating and more about our brand and about our package. So, that's always something interesting to consider. And I found it interesting that it was here in this book. So again, if you don't already have it, you might want to get it. I just want to call attention to all the amazing women artists who've been working for years and years, either being commented on because of their looks, or not given credit or not given their due for their work, because it just wasn't done, or because they were discredited because of their sex. So, and it still happens all the time. I still see, well, I'll just say I still see it all the time. So I just, instead of me being in my studio and showing you my work or telling you what I was up to, I thought I would just bring something else into the mix. And, you know, what are you reading? Who's inspiring you? What ideas are you thinking about? I'd love to discuss it in the comments. So again, if you read my Friday blog, many of you did, and many of you were moved by it and touched by it, or reached out to me via either a comment or on Facebook, or you wrote me personally. I really appreciate your empathy and your compassion and the sharing of your stories too. That really meant a lot to me. And until next week, I hope you and me are well, happy, and inspired, taking good care of yourself, challenging the status quo, and, you know, doing what you can. And I'll see you next week. All right. Take care. Bye.